93.5. Boy, I hope they don't talk again. Just fade. Keep fading. Keep fading. King and Country. For King and Country. And their brand new song, The Proof of Your Love. It's Friday. It's 8:20. And we were having some technical issues this morning. Sorry we're in late. I hit a train again today. I didn't hit
You hit the train?
I got stopped by a train 2 days in a row now. This one earlier than yesterday. Yesterday I was running later, and the train was on time with me. And today I was running late, but not as late. And the train, I heard it as I was getting in my car, like, you know, the old train thing. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning,
Can't hear
Lisa.
on online. Why would you be able to today?
But I'm not sure that I want you to fix it because.
Oh, no, she doesn't want us to fix it.
What song is it?
I don't know.
Oh, just that song I like.
It's that one song with that one line
Yep, Cindy sent me an email
that
to
she
the same
likes a
effect.
lot.
And Cindy, it's
Right.
Cindy's favorite song. So you have that one.
It's Cindy's
Oh.
favorite song. What's Cindy's favorite song?
I don't know. I know not.
Cindy, what's your Oh, she can't hear us.
No, she can't hear us.
She's not
I
online.
met some other folks who was out in Crown Point yesterday for the banquet meeting and previewed my talk, and I just turned out like we have a mystery guest who's not there. And talked to a few more people who are listening. Actually, a lady by the name of Melissa who works right down the street. She's in a big concrete building and said she can't get this. Can't get it. So I said, "Well, I'll come down there and correct that situation." 'Cause that doesn't make any sense.
Right, because she's
So-
near. Well, unless we're not online, and then no one can hear
No,
us.
like she's closer to the tower than we are.
Oh,
I mean, she's right. She's
Right
a
there.
block that way. She's at Sistar Mortgage, just
good-
around the corner.
Well, I'd say good morning, Melissa,
But she can't hear
She
us.
can't hear us.
So she says on occasion we come in. If the wind's blowing the wrong way,
Or the right
then
way.
we can't. All right, where's my... Oh, there it is. I
So
just
it's
hit
Friday,
the wrong button.
all day.
It is, and
to a,
last day of spring break other than the weekend for kids. So school comes back in session next week. That's exciting. Boy, look at the darkness rolling in.
Yeah, it's kind of
I wonder what the weather forecast looks like.
I don't know. You know what?
I should listen to a radio station sometime and see if they do the weather.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was trying to figure out what to wear this morning, and I thought, I don't know what the weather is. Did we do the weather? Have we done the weather?
Yesterday we did a brief look at the weather forecast.
I think I
there's
stepped
there's a
away.
pretty decent storm rolling our way.
I can see that.
And I wonder what way it's going. If it's sliding a little north.
The wind's blowing a little north west, it looks like to me anyway. I hope the storm goes northwest. So
No,
I spent
the storm
about,
isn't going northwest.
No,
Most
it's
weather
coming at us.
moves from the west,
Okay.
not to the west. Sometimes if you get like a hurricane thing, it'll move like that way. But
I don't know
our
if that's
weather
something that's
patterns
gonna stick.
naturally move that way to this way, or even that way to this way.
That's what I have you for.
And so, thanks. Glad to have a reason in life, a purpose in life.
Yeah.
It looks like we may get. It looks like it's moving fairly quick and not very wide. But the forecast, more officially than that, the forecast today looks like it's not very. It looks like it's moving fast and not very wide. Showers and possible thunderstorm before 11, and I think that's a pretty accurate statement. I'm guessing
I'd say.
even before 10.
Oh, look at
Gonna
that.
go out
There's
on a
weather
limb.
on the TV.
Yeah. Chance of showers, thunderstorms after 11. Cloudy, high near 62. Windy. Wind out of the southeast. And gusts up to 25 miles an hour. 6% chance of rain. And a quarter of an inch of rain is possible. We should be back online now. Yes, it appears, by all accounts that I can tell. And I just lost the weather. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. Tonight,
It's in the
cloudy,
sky.
low of 38. Tomorrow, sunny and 60. They changed the forecast. It's going to
Wait,
be
today is
sunny and
38?
60. No,
And
tonight will be 38. That's
Oh.
prefaced it with the word tonight. Today
You hear that? Michaela
is
was making
62.
noise.
I know. Noisy. And they flipped actually the forecast. It looked like Sunday was going to be the better day over the weekend, and now it's Saturday. There's a slight chance of showers on Sunday, but the high near 76, so it's warming up there a bit. Peeking out to the week ahead, kind of April-y. April-y, just a chance of showers here and there and highs in the 50s. Nothing like rocketing back up towards 80 at this point. But there is a line of storms coming our way. And so be aware of that. I don't know what you're supposed to do with
I don't
that
know. I'm
information.
wearing boots today.
Take an umbrella. You're wearing boots.
Boots,
Like
yeah.
rain boots?
No, like winter boots, but not snow boots. You know, just fashion boots.
You were busy moving things around yesterday. I left the office to head over to meet a client in Maryville, or Crown Point officially. Lake County runs towns together, and it's hard to know where one ends and one begins. So like at some point you're in Maryville. No, start going that way. You're driving along, you think you're going to Maryville, you're in Hobart.
Right. Well.
Then you're in Maryville, then you're in Hobart. Then you're in Maryville, and then if you go south, you're in Maryville, then you're Crown Point. And it's like, wait, where?
When
What?
you go south, right.
Yeah, when you go south, right. If you're over on 41, you drive through like 5 towns in a blink, and you don't realize it. You go through like, I can't even remember all the towns.
Let's see. You start off in East Chicago, or wait, what is that? Robertsdale, East Chicago. No, Whiting.
Could be.
Whiting, Hammond.
You have
Hessville.
Munster over there. There's like, what's the one like?
Munster,
There's an area before Munster between there. Highland,
Cherville. Then you go down through St. John.
St. John's.
Lowell.
Did we say Dyer?
Dyer. I don't think you actually cross Dyer on 41,
It's over there someplace.
but it's to the west.
Yeah, it's in that whole vicinity, and it just seems like there's a lot of municipalities in a small area, and I've got to believe that costs money. Because wouldn't there be redundancy of services that you now have to have a chieftain for? So
I have no idea.
If you have let's say, does Highland have its own police department? Let's say
Yeah.
they do, and
They
East
do.
Chicago has its own police department, and Dyer has its own police department, and so you have police, and you need the police, right?
Right.
But then you have a chief of police. Do they have chiefs of police still? I just pictured a guy like, but
With a star,
yeah, star.
a big hat.
I'm the chief of police.
It sounded very Bob the Builder of you.
Well, I think that just seems like a lot of effort for a very small area. You take a city like Chicago and you have one chief of police, and it's covering an area bigger than that whole area, covering more people too. It just seems like that would cost more money. In this time of needing to spend less, it just seems like it's a little heavy on the bureaucratic side. I'm not sure
I don't think the
enunciated it that
folks
way.
in the town of Highland would appreciate if you took their chief of police away.
I'm not taking their chief of police away. I'm just saying it's like school systems. I
Mm-hmm.
believe the same thing. And actually, they've done like in our East Porter County schools area, there's lots of little schools,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of having a superintendent for each of those things, they have one superintendent across. I don't know, maybe it's 4 or 5 schools. They have one school board, but they have each principal's each thing. So there's less bureaucratic stuff that doesn't help in the classroom when you're cutting back things. And I don't know, it just seems like there's ways to reduce the redundancy of upper level positions. I'm not completely out of left field on this. Maybe as topic of this morning it is, but it just dawned on me. I just always get confused over in Lake County.
Okay.
But
So this started out because you were traveling.
I was in Lake County. I was visiting with a client, and then I was at our banquet meeting, and
So you had a long night.
yeah, I left Crown Point about 12:15, and then I had to come home, and I forgot I had not done because I had left here in such a rush that I did not have stuff prepared to go on the air today, and so I had to put music together. Unfortunately, I put together enough music to deal with our technical issue this morning. Why can't we hear ourselves? And I featured, there's a lot of new stuff in there, and some local stuff too. So let's go back and recap.
Right. I heard Jennie.
Jennie was
this
there.
morning.
Started twice this morning.
Yeah, Morning Light twice.
Really?
I mean, it's a good song, so I wasn't complaining.
I didn't know she was already loaded and ready to go when I put her in at the top of the hour at 8. And then we had Red Umbrella, already won, which is, I like the story. There's a neat, it's already taken care of. God has a plan.
Right.
In the middle of it. Take Delight from our friend Frank J Guzzo.
Right. That song got me up and moving.
And then now I hope you mean you were already up. I mean, like not up and getting ready to leave. You were just like,
No,
should
I
have been
was-
driving at that point.
Yeah, it made me drive faster. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Maybe.
And then new song from Jason Gray called Good to Be Alive, followed by Proof of Your Love by For King and Country. It's their follow-up to their big song. It's starting to drift down the chart. But that was a couple of new songs and a couple of local songs at the same time. It was kind of hip and cool that way.
New and local. And just in case you didn't know, when you turn away from the microphone, it's kind of hard to hear you. So I moved things around in the studio yesterday, like a lot of things. So RG's, I think, a little out of sorts today as he's looking for, I don't know what he's looking for, but if you tell me what you're looking for, I might be able to direct you better.
I'm looking for this chord.
Looking for the chord right there that you found. Okay, great.
Because Shane Evans is supposed to call in.
Oh, Shane's calling. Oh, we're going to take a live call. How about that? That's pretty cool. We've done that once or twice before. I think we talked to Jenny Bolton that she was our test caller. And then we had Chris
Slay.
Slay?
I don't know.
Sly?
Selah.
Sayla. Yeah, I saw that was cute. You had you made a little note.
I know.
over
I have a
there.
little note over here. Oh, and I need
pronounce
to say good morning to a couple of folks from Jimmy John's who stopped by yesterday.
Yeah, that did not bring an unwitch.
Right, but they brought little samples yesterday. Matt and Amanda.
Cool.
And Amanda said she would listen this morning.
Awesome. Well, good
So
morning,
hopefully-
Amanda.
Hopefully she followed through on that. And she had stopped by. I guess she stopped by the law firm yesterday. I'm sorry,
missed
2
both
days ago.
times.
Today is Friday. Stopped by on Wednesday, and they said they'd stop by here at that same time, and there was no one here. I had gone to LaPorte that day, and then they came back by. Tiny was sitting here, and he's like, "What are they doing?" When they walked by with the bags over their shoulders, and I said, "Oh, they've got probably samples or something that they're trying to, get. Hey, you should get Jimmy John's for lunch," sort of thought. And so he walks out and he goes, "Hey, do you have samples in there?" And they go, "Well, we're going to refill. We'll be back." It's like, "Okay, we'll be right here."
We'll be waiting.
Yeah. So
Now I know why Tiny was hanging out yesterday.
yeah, we had breakfast yesterday as we were sitting here talking through some stuff, and as I was waiting for some things to come through email that I still don't think are here, I needed to make
Bummer,
a call
does
this
that
morning
mean
when I
don't
get
get
off
a
the air.
computer?
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that computer order to come through, so I can actually so ordering our computer. But anyway, so good morning to Matt and Amanda, and thanks for stopping in yesterday. And there's something else I was going to mention, so Shane's going to come in to talk about their show. He's on tour with a group called Sons.
Right.
All capitals.
But he's coming. Sons.
Sons.
Hands up. Yeah.
Sons. Sons. And he's in concert tomorrow night. They're doing a show up in Chesterton.
Is he coming in or calling in?
He's calling in.
Calling in. All right, I don't have to move my
About
stuff.
now. It's supposed to be calling in sometime about now. But this, he's over in Huntington right now with the
okay.
band. So it's an hour later there. Hopefully he didn't call me at 7:30. I don't remember seeing it. But I think I texted him back 8:30 our time. But he's on a different time, so how can it be our time? If we're both here, Mr. Hand, isn't it our time?
What was that a reference from?
Can you not think of that one?
It's like
If you're
ringing half a
here
bell.
and I'm here, Mr. Hand,
Mr. Hand.
isn't it our time?
Gumby is all that came to mind. I don't know why, but
I'd be Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
oh, really?
Mr. Hand was the teacher. Spicoli was ordering a pizza or something like that.
Huh?
In class.
Wow, pizza in class.
Well, that was the pretense of that particular scene, I believe.
Huh.
But anyway,
So I was just picturing little, faces on
people.
hands and
Nope. It was the professor's, or not professor. It was a teacher's name. It was a high school because Fast Times at Ridgemont High was a high school, Ridgemont High School. You'd think that would register with me. Anyway, it is about 8:30, so I think Shane's going to be joining us here in just a little bit. I'm trying to find the information about their event. Let me think. I need to go here and then go here. And so the show is... come on now. Show more. Really, do I need to request that? I must need to.
Are you on Facebook? Facebook. There
Facebook
was
is
some news
making
about
me
Facebook.
crazy.
Wow, it really got dark out there.
Yeah, I told you it's going
Yikes.
to storm before 10.
I need a winter coat.
Overriding. The show tomorrow is at Simple Days in Chesterton, which is on Calumet, I believe, just south of the maybe it's in town, but just this side of town. And it features John Davey, who we've talked about as being a musician out of Lafayette, very well thought of. A group called Sons, that's who Shane is traveling with right now, playing drums. I'm assuming he's playing
I
drums.
think it's probably a safe
assumption.
Yeah.
Anchors is another band, and then Devn Clayton. They're all there tonight.
That's a cool
And
name.
that
Gotta
show,
say.
Devn
I
Clayton.
do like that. Devn Clayton. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
John
phonetically.
Davey, Anchors,
Kinda
Devn
cool.
Clayton, Sons. And it starts at conflicting times here. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Did I say tonight? I hope I didn't say that.
I don't know. I was
Tomorrow
stuck on the
night
main
at
thing.
7 o'clock up at Simple Days. And
Off Calumet.
yeah, I believe
Right.
this is a Be
said that
Still and
part.
No planned deal. I'm
Cool.
guessing.
We'll have to ask Shane when he calls. You should text him and see if he's awake. or if we missed the call.
We'll give him a minute or two
All right.
because I'm still trying myself to get settled in here.
Okay.
The other thing tonight is Life Bridge's
Life Tree Cafe.
Life Tree Cafe, and the subject matter of this evening is hurt by the church. Finally, someone's listening. And so it says a recent Barna study, that's a research group that does a lot of research, and they found that while 83% of adults consider themselves Christian, 28% no longer attend church. I wonder how dated that is, or what date that is, because I'm thinking, just based on randomness, a less scientific study, I'm hearing more of that. It says nearly 4 out of 10 state they've decided to quit because of the negative experience. So of that 28% that no longer attend, 4 out of 10 had a negative experience at church. Those who experienced church influence hurt will be heard at Life Tree Cafe tonight, starting at 6:30. And I just had a conversation with someone who had this experience happen this week, and it's devastating, and it's sad actually. I feel bad for the person, I really do, and I think it's even worse because, everything that we know within ourselves about churches, you would think it was a safe place, a place to be built up, a place to call home. I mean, we have a home church,
Right.
and yet we were having this conversation last night. Sometimes the church gets caught up in itself, and I think when you lose faith in the picture of church, and sadly it happens.
Well, I think it's kind of inevitable at some point in time that you're going to experience that. I mean, the church is made up of human beings.
But
and
it's not-
especially in the church, we should have enough
Morning.
grace to know that we live in a fallen world. We're not perfect.
Right, but the church is made up of human beings who are supposed to stay out of the way of it. And again, that's where I will agree with you. When you let faith drift to the background in anything, and you put the humanistic stuff in the front, and I've done this in my life personally. I've been a part of groups that have done it right, done it wrong. But when you start to not, and man, it's hard to say, but I've been there where I thought I just heard like a crackle of static. I think that was
thunder.
Yeah, that was thunder.
Yeah.
But I've been in a situation, a church meeting, where I just watched it go, like look faith in the eye, and then purposely turn and go the other direction.
Are you hearing strange things?
Yeah, it's almost like another station or something like that. Music.
Could be with the weird weather. Well, here's what I have to say about that. I mean, and you should understand this since you've been on quite a journey.
Yes, absolutely.
And starting at sort of at that.
Don't run.
At that
I'm
meeting.
telling you, don't run.
Don't-
That was
What?
Lindsay.
Oh, across the street.
Remind me to come back to that for just a moment.
Okay.
And I'll let you say what you're going to say.
All right. So, knowing where you were at that time and on your walk, you were still on your walk, and where you are now and the journey that you've been on, I would think that it'd be easier for you to actually understand how that happens, how it unfolds, and then going forward be better able or more able to give grace in that situation and have more compassion and understanding in that it's part of their journey. And
I agree. I do, up to the point where when presented with that, they still turn away.
well,
And they continue to turn away. And so
hey, I
yeah,
think
that's probably
that's
Shane.
phone. That might be Shane.
So we'll let's see if we can get Shane here on the
All right.
air. Good morning, Shane. Can you hear us? I don't know if he can.
Yep.
Hey, there you are. Hey, what's going
Shane.
on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
It is going well. You are in Huntington?
Good. Hold on. Nate, are you there?
Hey, Nate.
Wait, are we trying to
Hello?
conference call?
Yeah, we have a conference call going on.
Wow, how
Sweet.
sophisticated.
Hey,
This is
guys.
a breaking.
This is my first ever conference call that I've organized.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Good job,
And the
Shane.
first one we've put on the
You
air.
guys hear me? Are you proud of me?
That is
We are
awesome.
very proud of you. Good job.
I wondered how you were going to cover being on the air.
What's that?
I said I wondered how you were going to cover being on the air, knowing your love for talking on the radio.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, he's just talking on the
You know how
phone
much I
now,
love
so
it.
yeah.
Right, exactly.
Who else is in the studio?
Jen.
today?
Jen's in the studio.
Hey, Jen. How's it going?
It's good. How you guys doing?
Good.
All right.
How's the tour?
It's going really well. We are back in Huntington, waiting to come back, obviously, tomorrow. There's a concert in Chesterton, and it's been really good just to be able to been able to, gain a new perspective on some things, not only with some of the things that we've come in and talked about on the radio, but just in general, I think that God's kind of taking me into a different season and has been, molding my heart and preparing me for some things. So I think that it's been useful in that sense. So I've been kind of sick,
Bummer.
I guess, just having trouble adjusting sinus-wise, basically since we left. But it's been a fun experience for sure.
Where all have you gone?
We went to somewhere, I can't remember what the city in southern Illinois was.
That's great,
but it
Shane.
was like,
Man,
it was
way
like
to
went to
go.
that-
an hour.
Rock
One
star
city.
mentality there.
Right. Went to that one city. We played that one place, that one
Yeah,
day.
there's this one place.
Right.
It was like a suburb of, I don't know, I can't remember. It was like 2 hours away from St. Louis. And
Okay.
then the second date was in St. Louis.
Oh.
We played downtown, and that was cool. We got to hang out for a while, and we went to a different church there called the August Gate Church, kind of a church plant. And it was cool to meet another body of believers and just experience that. And the next day, I think we had a day or two off at that point, and we went to Oklahoma to stay with the singer of the band Sons
Cool.
family for a little bit and just recuperate until do some laundry, those sorts of things.
Sure.
And then we went down to Texas. We played in Dallas, like right outside of Dallas. It's actually, I think it was called Midlothian,
Yeah.
which is like a suburb.
Yeah.
And then we played in Austin.
Wow.
And then there was, that was cool.
Did you say
I'd never been to
Boston?
Austin before.
Austin.
Because, you always hear kind of like the rumors of what it's like, because I
Right.
think it's like different from the rest of Texas, but it's a beautiful city. And again, like we got to go to a church out there. What was it called? It was called, I think it was called like just Austin Stone or something like that. But it was just, it reminded me so much of even just being at Grace Point. It's very similar to kind of how the services are structured there. And it was really cool to see because they were at a point where they had grown quite a bit. They were meeting in like a high school gym, and it was like this part of Austin where there was also a like marathon or something happening that day. So like streets were like shut down and stuff. But we like technically parked in an illegal spot, but there were like 100 people parked in this illegal part on the road. So there was a bunch of people trying to go to church, so it was cool.
So
Wow.
the illegal parking was
part
the
of that as
highlight
well.
of the tour.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said the illegal parking was the highlight of the tour thus far.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd say.
Now you were in Austin.
No,
This is just post South by Southwest, right? This is because that just wrapped
Right,
up a week
yeah.
or so ago. So I'm sure there's
What's
still.
that?
I said I'm sure there was still a buzz going about South by Southwest down there.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't see like a whole lot of like visual buzz or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, even at the venue that we played at, it was just like this Mexican restaurant / like legitimate music venue.
Wow.
And they had a bunch of acts, like different eclectic, like Scottish folk bands and things come through for South by Southwest. And like, I think the general feeling that you get is like the people who lived there that we talked to about it were were just kind of, oh yeah, we go every year, whatever, it's no big deal. But obviously, to us outsiders, like, it sounds like it is kind of a big deal, and I know there's some controversy, like, with the city itself. Like, I saw, like, this trailer for a documentary that was about how, like, the negative effects of that South by Southwest is having on the city of Austin and stuff. But, again, like, you couldn't see any of that stuff, like, being there.
Right.
And it was definitely a really cool area, and I don't think it was like, you know, I think sometimes you think in your head, like a place like Austin where they have South by Southwest, it's just there's like dirty hippies walking around everywhere and just like a crazy party city or something, and it wasn't really like that at all. It was actually really nice.
Did you get to see the bats? Don't they
What
have
was
like
that?
did you get to see the bats? They have a giant bridge where like it's infested with bats, and people go sit by the river and watch the bats come out at night. Did you miss that? That's
Bats?
bats, yeah, like the flying little rodent-y things.
No, we did not. I did not see any bats.
No. So did
They have
you?
a giant. There's this big bridge that goes across the river there through town, and it's like a thing that people do at night. They sit
On
by there,
purpose?
and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of bats that go out at night, and then they come back. They all live under the bridge.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the troll. So did you
No,
say Scottish
we
Wolf
did.
Band?
Go ahead. Hang on. Go ahead, Shane.
We did drive over that. I think the bridge that you're talking about, and it was during the day, and there were like lots of people kayaking and stuff out on the river. But other than that, I didn't see any bats.
No bad experience.
But we did get to go to this huge mountain. I think it was called like Mount Bunnell, I think is how it's pronounced. And it, essentially, like you could see everywhere in Austin from it. I have pictures where you could look over the entire city, and then obviously see like I think we were on the north side, so that's mostly what you saw, and all the mansions and stuff of celebrities and whoever that lives in the Austin Hills. So that was cool too.
Yeah. Very cool. So as a promoter now being on the road, does this give you some new insight to that whole promotion process and how you incorporate that stuff into your thinking and planning and such?
Yeah. You're talking about like from my position as being that?
From the Be Still and Know angle, and Nathan also of Be Still and Know is on the phone with us here, but now you've been in bands for a while, but now spent some like extended period of time on the road, not just an overnighter, but a multi-nighter. Has to change your thought process about that whole promoting, bringing in shows, and doing shows perspective, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I guess I would start by saying I'm thankful for Nate because I'm sure that he can tell you that there's it's hard to get all the things done that you want to get done with stuff like this. Being so far away, I mean, you're constantly just everything you do is on the computer and on the phone. So you're at the, as you know, in the, I guess, concert industry and talking with different bands and performers, like it seems like you're always waiting for somebody to call you back, and you're always waiting on somebody else to do something.
Right.
So I guess there's just an added difficulty of being far away, but that's why I'm thankful to have Nate because he can hold it down. Like we organized in a small way, and he can tell you a little bit more about this, but like we actually got a few people, just basically friends of Nate's and a couple people that I know as well, to help us promote the concert because we realized that we needed help, and it's kind of part of our, I guess, overall sort of direction for the company to have more people involved, more people helping.
Hello?
I think we lost him.
Where did we lose? We lose.
Are you there?
Oh, yeah, we
yeah,
did.
we're here.
Maybe we lost Nate.
Nate's still
I think
there?
we lost Nate.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, well, yeah. He needs to be on the phone for the show part.
I was gonna say, just about the time we're getting ready to transition.
Yeah.
Technology reigns.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Like I could possibly come back and talk more, when we get back. But,
yeah, absolutely.
I think it's really good, just to be able to have, again, like I've been gone for 2 weeks and I really miss my friends. And
Yeah, you're
like,
missed.
There's some of those friends have become even a huge asset to what Nate and I are trying to do with the concerts thing, and just work within a community of musicians, and how we could possibly be able to partner with ministries and things like that as well. So it's been good to have him, I guess, back holding down the fort as I've been gone.
Yeah. It's interesting having had you as, friends.
Hold on.
Is he
What's
coming
that?
in? Is he calling in?
Yeah, he's calling back. Let me
All right,
get
see
him
if we
back
can
on the phone.
conference him back in. We're talking to Shane Evans and hopefully
Nate
Nathan.
Nate Jones.
Nate here in a couple minutes. There's a show tomorrow night in Chesterton at Simple Days, featuring John Davey, Sons, the band that.
Are you there?
Yep, we're here.
Okay. I got him back.
Was he back? All right. We were just talking about the fact the show's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Simple Days in Chesterton. It has John Davey from Lafayette, who I've heard a lot of good things about. Sons, who Shane is traveling with right now. A group called Anchors, and what's my other one? Devn
Clayton.
Devn Clayton.
And we just want to confirm, Shane, that you're playing drums. Shane?
What's that?
So we just wanted to confirm that you're with the Sons. You're playing drums, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's what I've been doing with them.
Safe assumption.
All right. And but I started to say when you just brought Nathan back, it's interesting to have you and Jennie just going out on the big road thing for the first time, and being able to kind of experience that with you on the backside about how and both of you been involved in promotion and booking and things of that nature, and now being able to go out and be an artist in a different environment, not just in your backyard, and how that sort of changes your perspective. I think one of the things that you just said and that Jennie had said is that I think we picture artists just having all this downtime, but there's a lot of stuff. Even when you're traveling, it's not just, you can't just be on the phone all the time or making calls and returning calls or answering emails and stuff. Even with technology today, you're still pinched for time and trying to get to people and get things organized. And so that's got to be a cool thing to be able to actually experience firsthand and learn from and incorporate.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely right. There's a lot of pressure a lot of times for bands, for just themselves to get everything done, especially if they don't have somebody helping them, like a manager or record label or something. There's so much work involved. There's actually a nonprofit organization that was started, I believe, it was a couple years ago, called RYFO.
Yeah.
RYFO.
Yep.
.org.
Right.
And it's essentially a ministry to bands, to musicians, because of, I think, partly in what you're saying, like people kind of picture that, bands are just lazy bums that don't do much, but a lot of times it is a lot of work, and there's a lot of pressure to be a certain way and to fit into what a certain industry standard is, and at the same time, like, if you are a band that considers yourself a ministry, to fit into that as well,
right,
and fulfill those things. So there was this whole mission, this whole organization started around essentially helping to, I guess, take care of and love people in bands who are trying to do that. So that's been really cool to see.
Yeah, RYFO, ryfo.org if people are interested in finding out how they can participate. There's lots of ways you can help. People host bands when they're on the road. You're traveling between, like you said, you're in Oklahoma and Austin. That seems like a simple thing. That's a pretty substantial drive. And so getting out of a show late, you may not be able to knock that down in one night, but you can make arrangements with host homes that will allow bands to just come, sleep for the night, get cleaned up, do laundry, whatever it might be, whatever their calling is for that ministry. It's really an awesome thing, and they went to a 2.0 version of their organization last fall, and it's really upgraded the capacity for bands and people to participate in lots of different ways. So I'm sorry I cut that off, and then I know you want to get to getting Nate talking about the show tomorrow night. So,
What was that?
I said I kind of cut you off there. I know you're trying to get Nate to talk about the show for tomorrow night. I didn't know where you were going there with the conversation. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered most of the details. Nate, is there anything that he missed? Like, what's the address?
The address is 206 South Calumet Road,
right?
and that's like right downtown Chesterton.
It's just it's sort
And
of
then,
south of the T there, south of the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Excellent.
and then what was the cost of the show?
It's going to be $5.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Now, how did you get hooked
Cool.
up with John Davey?
Nate,
What was that?
How did you get
answer
hooked
that,
up
I
with
think.
John Davey? John is a guy at a Lafayette, and I know plays all around. Very well thought of in small venue type things, but has a. I mean, I know he's traveled up to Minnesota and South Dakota and lots of different places. I'd actually tried to do a show with him in Lafayette when I was down there with somebody, but he was on the road. He was every place else. So how did you all get meet up with him? Is he somebody you knew from another situation?
He actually played at the Branch, I think last year with a rendition. I wasn't at the show, actually. But then he played again at a house show at my friend's house, and Shane and I both saw him then, and really liked him. He puts on a really good show. He's a real personable guy, and so yeah, we saw him then, really liked him, and then got a hold of him a couple months ago to start working with him.
Cool. And then, so this Son's the band based out of Huntington? Is that what you're saying, Shane?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. That's where we're at right now because that's where Ethan, the guitar player, lives. But essentially, they're from all over.
Okay.
Jacob, the bass player, is from Huntsville, Alabama, and Aaron, the singer, is from Oklahoma, but he's currently staying with some family in Pennsylvania while they're not touring. So
Wow.
it's kind of everybody kind of just collectively meets in Huntington because that happens to be the central location where there's a house where they can practice at and things. But
Okay.
yeah, they're from all over the place. So.
Excellent. And then, is the tour continuing for you beyond this show this weekend?
Well, I think they have somebody that's going to eventually fill the role as being the drummer of their band. They have a few dates here and there that they may or may not need help with, in which case I might, but that's not really been decided
Okay.
at this point. It's just been kind of talked about as you know, there's lots of things that can, I guess, be put on the table to be discussed, and
Sure.
there's lots of plans to make and lots of preparations and things like that. So
A very fluid situation.
yeah.
Now, Nate? What can you tell us about the other participants in the show tomorrow night at 7:00 at Simple Days? I think is what.
Simple
Simple
day.
Days.
Simple Days. So we talked about John Davey a little bit. There's a band called Anchors, and then Devn Clayton. How did you bring all these this group together?
Anchors, which is Dave Black. He's kind of the local artist that everybody knows. He's been playing shows for a long time. And actually, Shane used to be in a band with him back in the day.
Back in the day.
So, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Now he works down the street.
So I've
Is
known
that
Dave for
is-
a long time.
is he? He works
Cornucopia.
Cornucopia, right?
He works at Cornucopia.
Yeah, I think I've met him. And he's played there a few times, right? As himself, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's also played at the Branch.
Okay. Good.
a handful of times. So.
And then Devn Clayton is also a local or from out of town?
I think they're from Portage.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
Simple Days actually booked them. They're
Okay.
a younger band.
Oh, it's not a
From
person.
what
It's not a guy named Devn Clayton. It's a band named Devn Clayton.
From what I understand, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was.
Well, it's a cool name
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah. All right.
Whether it's a person or a group of people.
All
I
right.
like it.
Okay. Cool. Well,
Nate, aren't you playing with Jennie tonight at her CD release?
Yeah.
oh, is that at the branch tonight then too?
Yeah, so the branch starts at 7:30.
7:30. So Jen, I had slipped my mind. So tonight at the branch at 7:30, Jennie Wellsand's official CD release party is happening. It's right around the corner from us here, right behind us and right behind Blackbird Cafe. So that's 7:30 night. Nate's playing with them, and then show tomorrow night up in Chesterton at Simple Days, and that is on Calumet, right in that downtown area there, the downtown area of Chesterton. So, well, we appreciate you all joining us this morning and letting us know about the show. Shane, have a good rest of your trip, and look forward to catching up with you some more.
Yeah, I hope to see you guys out there tomorrow. If not, definitely catch up here soon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would really like to encourage everybody that's listening now to at least, if you can't make it out to Chesterton tomorrow, definitely go to Jennie's release show at the branch. I've heard the EP that she's coming out with, and it's just amazing. We had a chance to actually make a video with her.
Yeah, saw
of
that
her
on Facebook.
explaining the process of her making that album, and just just what God had laid on her heart with the songs themselves, and then the actual logistical side of recording it too. And I can honestly say that it's an amazing EP. So I
Cool.
think
We agree.
people would really enjoy it. So
Yep, we agree.
yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, we played a cut from it earlier this morning, twice, I guess.
Twice, yeah.
And so we look forward to her getting that out there. I know it's available for folks out on the different sources, iTunes or Amazon, and be able to get it at the show tonight. That's 7:30 tonight at the branch. Thanks again, guys, for joining us. Safe travels back
thank you.
here, and hope everything goes great tomorrow night.
Good to hear you,
Yeah,
Shane.
as always, thank you, RG.
Yep, you bet. Thanks, Shane.
Yeah,
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks.
See you later, Nate.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
All right, hey, that worked.
Pretty cool.
Yay, technology. So lots of stuff happening, man. Just
Right.
lots of stuff going on. So
I know it's so hard because you want to be at everything
Right.
and you can't be.
tonight, Life Tree Cafe at Lifebridge starts at 6:30. Then scoot over to the branch for Jennie's CD release party, and then tomorrow night up to Chesterton for up to Simple Days for the show. And it's called Live Music.
It's called live music.
That's what the event is on
Great.
Facebook. Live Music.
All right, I have to back up a second.
John Davey, Anchor's Sons, and Devn Clayton. Yes.
Sorry.
Are
I
you
keep
gonna
doing
beep?
that today.
Are you gonna beep when you back up?
Am I going to beep, beep?
Backing up a
beep,
little bit.
beep?
Back that thing up.
Yeah.
It's, by the way, WITW 93.5 LPFM,
Valparaiso.
a little bit after 9 o'clock, and Jen.
So Shane was mentioning the South by Southwest thing,
Mm-hmm.
which I really don't get yet. So I'll need further explanation.
Okay.
Did he say a Scottish wolf band?
No, it's Scottish something else band. Music, I don't know. Scottish, I don't know. It was some sort of band with Scottish overtones. I'm not
Okay.
sure. South by Southwest is this giant sort of indie music festival that's grown almost as much in infamy as it has in just sheer size and populace. There's a lot of people who venture down. I think we talked about it a little bit. The entire town,
Participate.
bars, and as he said, restaurants, any place they can put up a stage, puts up a stage.
Wow.
Then there's bigger stages outside of those things too, and they bring in lots of different acts, and it's happening all the time, all over the place for a period of time. It's really where Twitter gained its launch. It just really took off because Foursquare. I'm sorry,
Oh,
my technology.
Foursquare.
People were checking in different places
Uh-huh.
around and that's how people were knowing what was going on where.
Right. Gotcha.
And so, I don't know how old it is, but it seems to have really taken off in the last couple of years.
It sounds great.
And it's very
From an outsider.
it's very
point of view.
Twittery. I mean, it's very Foursquare.
Very
I mean, it's just,
hashtaggy.
yeah. It's I don't know how to describe that, but it's almost like a social media type of event. Just the way it always comes across to me. That's my gut feeling on it. Morning, Alan. But anyway, so a little bit after 9 o'clock, and we hope folks will get out and support the arts, the musical arts this weekend. Jennie night, Life Bridge for some chat art, the art of talking,
the art of rhetoric,
and then tomorrow night up at Chesterton, Simple Days, and you can find information about that. We'll put links up on our website, and then we spent some time yesterday talking about Selah or Selah. Sometime as part of the day yesterday we talked about Selah, and then at some point we started talking about Selah, and interestingly the same band. and their concert coming up at Liberty Bible Church in 2 weeks from tomorrow.
And where's Liberty located for?
Also up in Chesterton, up Old Calumet. Old Calumet. So Simple Days is on New Calumet, I guess. This is Old Calumet. Or I'm sorry, it's Old 49. Old 49, I think they call it. Just north of 6, Liberty Bible Church. In that triangle where you are north of 6 before you get to 49 again. Like if you go straight on Calumet Avenue out of Valparaiso, eventually it blends into 49 up there by the toll road. Liberty Bible's right there on your way. Right after you cross 6, it's on your left. And you can get tickets there during the day at their bookstore. And I'll tell you, it's they have a really good Christian bookstore. If you're looking for study materials, you're looking for like you're studying and who doesn't hit that point with your study group? It's like, okay, what's next?
Right.
And you can go up there and you can see different types of study groups that are out there. They'll order stuff for you. I mean, they're good folks, and they know different things that they've done up there, different things that other churches have done. They actually are engaged with I believe the banquet community as well. And so when folks are going through banquet, they'll have a table of materials, because when you're going through that, suddenly you're kind of getting lit on fire a bit, and then there's resources there for you to be able to read. That's where I bought Too Busy Not to Pray. I say that like you know what I'm talking about, but I think that was in my talk yesterday, and I've forgotten who I've told what.
Everything's running together.
Bill Hybels.
Gotcha.
The book I read coming out of banquet was Too Busy Not to Pray, a book by Bill Hybels. Mm-hmm. And most recently, the book I read by Bill Hybels is Walk Across the Room, and impacted me even on a greater basis. But I always go back in my head to that Too Busy Not to Pray, the formulative basis that he gives for why prayer and how prayer and it's not as big as you make it, but there's a formula that you can kind of walk through to get covered what you need to get covered. But at the same time, there's other times where you just pray, you just talk to God,
right?
And it gives you a comfort when you're not a Christian and you haven't prayed, or you think you've prayed but you're not sure you're praying right. The book just gives a real solid foundation. And like I said, I didn't know who Bill Hybels was at the time. He's one of those guys that if you talk to people who are who read Christian books, he's one of those people that people reference like you know who they are.
Right, like Billy Graham, Chuck Swindoll.
Yeah,
James Dobson.
Well, people always say in Francis
Tozier.
Chan's book, or who else is out there? There's lots of authors out there that people just sort of reference, and I'm always like, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't.
Well,
not
it's okay
that well
to say
read.
that. Yeah, it's all right to say that. That's how you learn who they are.
Right. So
Matt Givens did a lot of that when he was here. I actually had to take notes.
Oh, of all the people that he referenced.
Yeah, I was like, wait, who's that guy?
Right.
I've never heard of him.
So, anyway, thanks to Shane and Nate for hooking up and letting us know about the show. Appreciate taking their time and I was kidding Shane that he really doesn't like being on the radio. He's not the front guy.
He did great.
He did fine. He always does fine.
Yes, he
just
does.
This is easy. So now when he gets to big time radio, he'll be nervous and he'll have a right to be. I'm just kidding.
Jeez, Louise, we're sorry, Shane.
No,
he's just
he's fine.
Shane's a good guy.
Indeed. So
very talented.
Cool to hear he's having that same sort of experience that we, I guess as an artist, you have this picture of what the road would be like, and then you get out there and you have to go, okay, well now I know kind of what that experience is. And from his perspective as it's not so much, I think, the wannabe musician, but really trying to get the management promotion stuff working. It sort of changes your perspective on, okay, if now when I'm working with these bands, I have a better feel for what they're going through when they're not returning a call. What
Well,
the
right,
heck,
like
you
Jennie
know?
said, you travel through these towns and these locations, and you're like, oh, well, that's why they didn't book a show. There's like 65 people total
Right.
population.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing. But I didn't realize. I wanted to ask him or clarify. This is his first on the road gig, like real legit kind of big spread out on the road thing.
I think so. Especially, on like a heavy. What was that?
I thought for a minute it was a tornado siren,
And then I thought it was Chris.
and then I thought it was Chris Sandberg saying good morning.
But no.
And now I'm not sure what it was.
Oh, you know what it was? I think.
Morning.
Good morning.
Cute shoes.
I think it might have been somebody. There's Chris right there, as a matter of fact.
Well, maybe it was Chris.
No, I think it was somebody must have been turning left in front of a truck who was going
Oh.
straight on Lincoln Way. That's funny that Chris came by. And I've forgotten all about what we were talking about. I
Shane
think that,
Evans and Nate Jones.
I think that
Be still and no music.
that experience of actually getting out and getting into it and understanding all the stuff that goes around it. I don't know that he had that before. He's obviously played in a variety of different bands
Right.
and been involved in booking and management and promotion and stuff. But
Well, it's interesting that everybody in the band is from such a random. I mean, they're pretty spread out there.
Well, and I thought maybe there may have been a Huntington connection with the university there. There have been a few bands, and universities are a good place to bring that group together.
Right.
Maybe that's how it started, and it's not there now. But it is interesting how.
Oklahoma, Pennsylvania. I mean, geographically speaking, that's pretty far out there. I'm thinking that might make band practice a little sporadic. You just
Well, and it's probably why they're looking for a drummer to fill in. I know Attaboy is from that area. They all met at Huntington, and they've gone through life changes as they've grown as a band,
right.
and name changes. What were they? Hot Sunday. We were talking about that when they were here.
It's funny.
and so they've band members come, band members go. Life changes. The demands of the road put different stresses on you with what you're trying to do. I remember when I first met them, they all had jobs, and one was trying to run a business, and I don't know how you could do that on the road. And I think at some point, with now throw in the family mix, and it has a tremendous impact. I think when we were talking to Christian last week,
right.
and Kelly Nunn last week, same thing. Christian has a young child.
Right.
Michael Signorelli has a child, and so that impacts how you work, because you got to earn
Right.
a living. How you incorporate music into that, and then if you're going to tour, put on shows, how that all fits together.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I think my voice is ready to call it a week.
Maybe it's time to pray.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for folks listening this week and the feedback we provided. I talked to a gentleman last night at our banquet meeting, our team meeting, about coming in on Tuesday to share his testimony. Someone that I'd heard give one of his talks earlier at a team meeting, and I mentioned it to him then, and we talked about it a little bit last night, and I think it's going to happen, but I don't want to call him out if he's not quite ready.
I got a few irons in the fire too, so we'll have to put a calendar together so we can.
And so
schedule
I know
folks.
there's a couple other folks that we need to try to arrange sometime with Jackie's friends, Mackenzie,
Yep.
but because she can't make it on Tuesday,
Right.
so we have to figure out a way to make that work, and maybe we have to record it and play it back, because I think Thursday we had talked about doing, but with our schedule now, I think we're back to not being here next Thursday. I talked about TD Jakes with some folks yesterday and giving away more copies of the DVDs I've made of his message. I just think it's super powerful. But there's another message I was thinking about doing next Thursday if we need to fill, and I'll pin that down. I'm still working through that and see what it is.
Well, it'd be great if we could get Mackenzie in before Thursday. We could record that and then play it on Thursday.
Yeah,
Ideally, but I tend to run in
Right.
the ideals.
and the challenge would be if she's not available till Thursday. It's not
Right.
really. It's like when Shane texted me last night. He's like, "Are we going to go on the air straight, or are you going to record it and play it back?" And I said, "Really? You think I'm organized enough to record something
Thanks for that.
and play it back?" And I
That would
smiley face.
That would require being here early.
Right. Or I've done it prior to the time we're texting last night at 10 o'clock.
Right.
But anyway, it's great to catch up with him. I'm glad he's having the experience that he is. So stuff happening. The Selah tickets are on sale up at Liberty You can get them at their bookstore. Tonight, then, Life Tree Cafe at Life Bridge, 6:30. Jennie Wellsand CD release party. Is that going to be a slash worship too?
I don't know,
because
but I do know
normally
that
that
there's
is their
candy.
worship time. I know it
There's
has
candy.
cut loose.
It has, yeah.
And
Lightning kind of freaked me out a little
I
bit
did
ago.
that. Oh my gosh, that was bright.
I was on my phone, and I thought, did I just blow something up in my phone?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So it's raining, much like we said it would.
Right.
Even
Before 11,
earlier than what we
right?
said it would. I said 10, and it's substantially before 10. And Corey was just walking by. Her had an umbrella in her hand, and she's just strolling in the rain. A little bit ago, just smiling, walking down the street. There's times I like that, just to like walk in the rain.
Yeah, I think it's a cold, rainy day.
That's the
though.
problem. If
I
it's a
don't-
little bit
yeah,
warmer.
Yeah.
Oh, so I forgot. I did want to touch on this. This is called learning experience.
Okay.
Running late today. Stopped by the train. I parked on the other side of Lincoln Way.
Okay.
I'm only here a half day today, so I thought I could get my 3 hours in and no concern about a ticket. If I park here, inevitably something will happen, and I'll just miss that window. I'll end up with the ticket. So I don't take the 2 hour parking. I take the 3 hour parking, which puts me on the other side of Lincoln Way. And I missed the light to cross. And I look up, and there is a line of traffic, probably 8, 9, 10 cars, coming from the west. And there's a moment in my head where I thought I could beat that row of cars. And then I just stopped and laughed out loud, thinking the last thing I need to do is to take another tumble
In front of
I thought-
nine
right, in front of
moving
9
cars.
moving cars, not
Right.
even having the light potentially in my favor. And I also thought, well, I had tennis shoes on, they weren't tied with it. I'm done. There's no way I'm doing it. And
See?
so I did.
Proverbs
I've
is-
learned.
Proverbs is helping.
Gracious. And all I could think was my shoulder hurts so bad still. And I was talking to a friend of mine. Last year I didn't golf. I golfed one time last year. The least I've golfed in my adult life. And part of it was my shoulder. My right shoulder had done something too. But I would have gutted it out. And then I just said something to my friend the other day about, I hope to get out and golf a little more this year. And I'm thinking, there is no way if this shoulder thing doesn't roll back around, because I don't know what to do with it. It's not right. It's not like out of place, but there's something not right inside. So maybe golf
You need
will
a
be on
rice
the. I'm
bag.
going to have to start. I have one, but it's
Raw
inside.
apple cider vinegar.
It's inside. You can't get heat to it.
But the raw apple cider
That would
vinegar.
just make a mess because I would pour it and it would.
No, you have to
all-
drink it
How's that going to get to my shoulder?
because it helps. It helps cleanse all the toxins out, and then it won't be inflamed.
It would be
and-
so diluted by the toxins in my body right now. My shoulder wouldn't even have a chance. It would get diluted, infected red apple cider or whatever the heck you called
raw
it.
apple cider vinegar.
Vinegar. So I think I have to take up fishing. I think I
Fishing.
can do that with my right arm.
You still have to cast. you
But
know?
that's the hand. I use this arm. I don't have to use both arms if I fish. I don't think.
Don't
unless
you
I'm doing
use
it-
your wrist more in golfing than you?
No, you have
Oh,
to.
I guess you.
There's
yeah, okay.
there's a term in your turn called your shoulder turn.
Oh.
And your golf is a pretty vicious thing on your body anyway, between joints. Because
really.
of the
I mean, there's not like
the
any
twists and
impact.
turns but you're contorting your body in ways it's not designed to contort.
Well, but if you have a good core,
Your core is not so much involved as your shoulders and your knees and your hips and things of that nature. Your core is a good thing to keep your like alignment straight,
Mm-hmm.
but you still have like massive pivoting going on in your shoulder and not natural sort of joint movement in your knees and your ankles. It's not a difficult like physical sport. If you take a golf cart, I mean, but if you're walking,
That's
2
the
miles,
best part of golf.
But just that weird sort of tweaking and turning and jerking and herking and all that stuff that you do in a golf swing. But don't think about it. That's the key. Don't think about it. Just let it happen. Don't overthink. All right. So, but yeah, fishing may be the answer. Go get one of those
You
old
have to-
pocket fishermen.
touch things.
What's that, Mr.? The Ron Popeil pocket fisherman.
The
That's what I need.
That's a mouthful.
That was like the early infomercial. You could put it in the glove compartment of your car. When you had that itch to fish, you could just like pull it out and bzzz, fish right there at the open body of water that you found as you were driving along.
Is that a copyrighted tagline? The itch to fish.
No, I may have
No?
to do that though. That was
Kinda like
something. I
that.
came up with something else the
Catchy.
other day too.
Yeah, I forgot already.
Gosh,
Gotta write these things down. Where's my notebook?
I know. I said something last night during my talk. I'll summarize this talk in this way because I can't. I have no idea what I said. I know that I hit some salient points, but Doug asked me, my friend Doug Book.
Did you tell him I said hi?
I told him you laugh at his hometown every time we bring it up.
You don't even have to say his hometown now. You just
and
say
he's-
Doug, and it makes me laugh.
He's heading down there today to see his
Awesome.
family. They're on their way to Florida, and so they're making a stop in Buck Creek.
Great.
And anyway, he said, "Well, have you got it written down?" I said, "Not a word. I have some bullet points that I know I need to hit, and I just said I know God will take me where He wants me." And I'd walked through it several different times. And there were some things I wanted to say, and there were things I hoped would work out. And I don't.
You're gonna need to watch your time. I have this.
It was
little
45
thing.
minutes.
Yeah, but I have
It
this
was
thing. It's called a
45
time
minutes.
timer, and it's like it's a clock, and then it's like it has like this like a pie. It's red,
pie.
like a pie.
That'd be distracting.
Not
Because I think I'd look at it the whole time going,
it's-
pie.
It's not a real pie. I'm giving you a visual, like a pie.
Oh.
And it goes around, and it tracks the time, but it blocks out the time that you've used, or maybe it's backwards. Maybe it blocks out the time that you have left. I have to bring it in. I haven't
This
used it in a
description
while.
was confusing to start, and then it's not even sure what I'm being described.
That's because I'm trying to use words instead of pictures.
That's all right.
And it's a very visual tool.
I see.
It's a great tool.
And much grace was given, and was told take the time that you need. And when I was done, I think I said, "And I'm done." I think it was just like I got to this point, and I thought, "There's no more words there,"
What?
and I just said, "I think I'm done."
Wow.
I said that to myself. I didn't say that outside.
Oh, I
out
thought you
loud.
said it out loud,
No,
but-
but I really I button there.
Forgot the button.
I just remember in my head going, I think that's all I need to say.
That's a
And
good
it
thing.
was just like it led right up there, and I was looking at the notes, and I said, "There's a few things I wanted to make sure I covered because it fits in with the rest of the other talks." And I thought, I think I've got them all. And I came back into the critiques, and they said, "Did you have that written down?" And I said, "No, not really." And they said, "Did you hit the points you needed to?" I said, "I think so," because none of them had the outline to check and make sure I had my points. I said, "I handed out," but I forgot that I had handed out my Sunday version that was all blank that people were supposed to fill out. And so that was something I learned. I won't give them the blank one. I'll give them the one. So if I do miss a point, it's there. Anyway, so it cracks me up. So, but it was just at the end of it, and at times when I talk, I don't know if people are getting it. I don't, and you're in a room that they're not listening so much to be the people talked to, but they're more listening to help critique this to make it better when it goes through.
Right.
And there's some funny things I say, and I need to know if they're funny, and so you get laugh, smile, whatever it is, and so you're trying to get feedback that way. But it was the first time I think I've ever like gone through and like had this thing, and it just was like, yeah, I think that's all there needs to be said there. And I was like, if I could keep it at 45 minutes, I think I'm okay with that. And I went out, and I didn't know what time it was, and I said, I think it's 43:45, and they timed 43 minutes, 45 minutes.
And it was?
It's 45 minutes.
Wow.
And I wasn't like looking and going, I'm supposed to be here by now. And there was a
Right.
clock in front of me. I couldn't remember what time I started, so that was almost more confusing than it was worth. But it was, Doug comes out after and he's like, that's all I did. He just kept,
He didn't have any words?
He just kept saying, you messed me up inside. And I go, well, good. That's good. So, and then I'm listening to the critiques, and I'm trying to write stuff down, and Harry Carabell says, listen, Mr. ADD, listen, we're talking to you. He goes, don't worry about it. It's fine. Just do it. It's fine.
I think ADD lends itself well in that environment.
Yeah, because I'm like trying to look through my notes and make sure
Right.
I covered something, and trying to write something down. He's like, no, if they don't get it, they're not going to get it. I mean,
Right.
you were fine
It's-
with it. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
That's God's
thanks.
part.
Thank you.
Right.
So Brian Harding gave his talk yesterday too, and it was early. emotional as well. It and the funny thing is, and we were talking about this afterwards. So my talk was 45 minutes. His talk was like 15 to 20 minutes. And Corlin Stein, our friend Corlin, I actually need to touch on this before we go, said he wouldn't have changed either. I mean, Brian said and when somebody said how long Brian was, I was like, how did he get that much stuff into that thing? Because it was just like it took you right where it needed to go. Mm-hmm. It said everything it needed to say. And it was this amazing story. It's one of those things that you just can't believe people stand up and say. And where God has brought him to, mm-hmm. and how he is impacting other people's lives, not just his family, but the Celebrate Recovery thing that they do at First Press now. It is just awesome to see these moves of God, and then that people will stand up and say, here's where I was, here's what happened, and here's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. And so, but Corlin, our friend Corlin, they're going to start their community gathering, their worship gathering at the Comfort Inn and Suites down there in Lowell. He said they've been like crazy over accommodating. It's gonna be great, and he's all fired up about it. They're gonna start meeting the Sunday after Easter in the Comfort Inn there, and we were talking about different things and structures, and he's nervous. And what if we? I'm like, just man, it's gonna be awesome.
Right.
I mean, you can't go down this road and not know God's in it, not think that God's in it, but know God's in it, and that He's just waiting for you to just open those doors for him to flow into.
To do what he's going to do, what he already knows is going to happen. Yeah.
So it's it's awesome to know that we were praying for it at the beginning, and mm-hmm. we've kind of followed through, and
can't wait to hear the the status update after the event.
Yeah, he's there's that nervous excitement about
right.
And I'm just like it'll be exactly what it needs to be.
Hey, speaking of events, I know Road to Life's had some really cool stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
They had their third 12 and 12 worship event last night, which I didn't get to go to.
Oh, okay.
But maybe Cindy can give us an update. I know she was excited about going, and I know they're doing some really wicked cool. And I don't mean wicked as in wicked, but
you do because you don't believe in the whole Easter thing.
Nope. Oh, come on. I don't want to go down that road. We'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about that. Maybe Jackie and I can talk a little bit about that, about Passover and that kind of stuff. And it's not that I don't believe in Easter.
We're going to start chatting Passover Monday with her.
Right. It's not that I don't believe in Easter.
No.
I just, have some issues with that.
With big bunnies.
Yeah, I
understand.
Okay. Anyway. Now you totally threw me off topic.
They're doing their Easter egg drop.
Oh yeah, they have gonna drop. I forget 20,000 eggs from a helicopter, and that's pretty cool. And their Easter service is going to be in 3D.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'd love to have them come in and chat it up, find out how that works.
We'll see what we can do about that. Yeah, they're doing one up in Chesterton. We're doing one out in Wanata the same day. We're not dropping things.
We're not dropping them,
helicopter.
but you guys have lots of pretty shiny, colorful eggs.
You saw the shiny eggs.
Right.
My kids got those things all packaged up.
Oh,
they got
really?
another 300 to do this weekend.
Wow,
so
fun
it's
stuff.
700 last weekend and 300 this weekend, and we'll be ready to just be in the churchyard out in Wanata. And did I talk about the worship service? I did, didn't I? We're going to kick off next week out in Wanata, our prayer service.
With the candle lights and the music.
Yeah, we're going to start doing that next week. It's going to be a work in progress. I had a chance to exchange voicemails with Laura Asher, who
mm-hmm.
really was the impetus for this thought in my head, and then sitting out there with Randy this past Wednesday. It just really came together. And that's exactly that vision I was trying to tell Corlin. I mean, it'll happen, and it'll just start to go, and you're like, wow. And part of the thing I was talking about yesterday, and I talked with people, there's times when you get in stride with God, you get left behind. I mean, it's just like, man, I can't run.
I can't
running back to you. I'm running to keep up with you. It's like I can't catch up. And then the checkup is when you start finding yourself having to work harder, and you're feeling like, where's God in this? It's because you kind of wandered off a bit
mm-hmm.
on your own.
Or trying to do too much on your own.
And exactly. And I just picture him standing back at that path going, yo, hey,
I'm over here.
We're over here. I'm not sure what you're doing over there. And then you look at yourself and say, I'm not sure what I'm doing either. And you get back in there, and then you get back on that thing. And I think at one point I tried to describe it as a roller coaster. But I'm not saying life is always grand and great, but I don't have that, the roller coaster has that sort of dropping down thing and then the hard coming up. I just think of it as a rocket ship. That's the way I described it. It's just like in a rocket. And when I first said it, it didn't even have the complexity of what I've now taken it to, because a rocket, when it takes it, there's so much, building, and it barely starts moving. I mean, like, it just has so much to get off the ground, and then when it starts to take off and go, it goes faster and faster and faster, like exponentially increasing in speed, and it can't be stopped at that point. And once it breaks free of gravity, it's just like, boom, just keeps going. And now just the little bit of effort keeps it going in that. You don't need to have as much effort as it took to get started, but you need that effort to keep it moving forward, yet it's still moving forward even without as much as it took at the start. And so, but that thing, I can't keep up. I know I'm in stride when I picture myself falling on the street, and but I know I'm going the right way when it just flows, and I think that's where I've been for the last year and a half, and it's just awesome, and so I just cheer people on to get to that point, because it is killer. I had the opportunity to thank the guy who did not give up on me when I tried to quit, and I was just too gutless to not do the awakening talk that he asked me to do. He was right there in the room last night when I previewed, and it was part of my talk, and I didn't know he was going to be there, but he was really that body of Christ. I mean, that's what I talk about. I mean, he was just absolutely Doug Randall. He because I was too gutless to say no, he wouldn't let me off the hook, and he didn't even know that was the game I was playing. He was just being true to what he felt was right, and because of that, I got the 2x4 to the head, and it got me back there. So it was cool to have that, and the different people who were in the story were in the room last night. It was really it was really cool.
A little daunting.
Yeah. Well, no, it was awesome to be able to share that back with them, the impact that they had on my life, and to express that then as the body of Christ. And as I started thinking about the actual number of people who will be in that room that day, who have played a role in that process, it's like the perfect picture of the body of Christ. It's not even a picture, it's an incarnate. So anyway, I just went 10 minutes longer than I intended. So thanks so much for everybody listening. Had a good week this week. Enjoyed it. Appreciate the feedback from folks and the opportunity to meet with people. And we'll be back on Monday with Jackie, we're going to start talking Passover.
Yep.
And
that's why I made my blueberry muffins.
Why?
Because I'm getting rid of all the leavened products in my home.
What leavened product are you getting rid of in there? Yeast?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, there's...
I was thinking flour. And I'm thinking, wait.
Well, this was a mix. It was, it wasn't just flour.
Okay.
So they're gluten-free, and you have to eat one.
First? Or have you eaten one yet?
Yes.
Okay. You have to eat one first. Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, we'll pray our way out. And again, I'm thankful for all that you all have helped us with in this, whether it's feedback or listening or telling somebody about it. I just really feel good about the way things are going. And I think God's in this thing, and as I say, as long as I stay out of his way, he's and just takes me where he wants me to be. It's good. I think he's got a good plan. I don't know. Maybe it's going out on a limb to say that, but
I don't think so.
no.
I think that
It's a good limb to be on if it is.
Pretty safe to say. Yeah. His plan
All right.
is good.
All right.
I think Jeremiah might have something to say about that.
Anderson?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know what his last name is. Just Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, the
Yeah.
prophet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if prophet's his last name, but we'll go with it.
Jeremiah T. Prophet.
So speaking of Jackie, as we're heading out in prayer here, I'd like to ask folks to keep her and her family in prayer for their house. Their house is on the market, and they have had a lot of showings, and just that God would give them wisdom and clarify his will, I think.
Where are they moving?
I don't know.
Because you just confused me when you were talking about moving, because
Well, they're not moving yet.
the other
but their
folks
house
moved
is
too. The Sally folks.
the Sally folks.
I want to say Joy, and then I wanted to say Slayer, and so. But yeah, so they are in the process of moving too.
Right. They're moving here.
moving to Valpo, just down the road a
moving
bit.
to Valpo. Right. Looking forward to that move.
I know they are
So,
too.
Yeah. And then also, Jackie has a friend, Mackenzie, who could use some prayer for her health.
Was this the Mackenzie we were talking
No,
about
I
earlier?
have the wrong. No, I'm so sorry. Not Mackenzie. Kiefer.
Mackenzie's like, wait, whoa, what?
Wait, wait, I got something wrong. Wait, sorry, Mackenzie. Yeah, no.
Lord help me.
Right, Jackie's friend Kiefer, if I'm saying that correctly.
I think that sounds right. I'm not sure it'd be Kiefer.
I don't know. It sounds. I drink Kiefer, so I've never heard anybody named Kiefer, so I just want to make sure I got
Sutherland?
that right.
You've not heard of Kiefer Sutherland?
Oh yeah, forgot about him.
Yeah. So that's why I said I'm confident that that's probably what it is. And I had a chance to chat with Jim Norris yesterday. I mentioned him on the air a couple of
Not
times.
Chuck?
No,
Okay.
not Chuck, Jim. But I think Jim's tougher than Chuck Norris, who is dealing with this cancer issue. And just like I knew he would be, he is. And is just taking this thing on, is undaunted from the perspective of... The thing he said to me is that he's going to see a doctor today. So we're praying for what the direction the doctor will take this. He's the pastor down at Boone Grove Christian Church, and he said the doctors are probably going to do some sort of surgery in the next week or so, and he goes, I'm going to have him put it off because Holy Week's coming up and I got too much to do. And so anyway, we lift up Jim. He is an awesome testament of God, and he would give it all over to God. I mean, absolutely everything that's happened. And so it was awesome to be able to catch up with him for a little bit last night, and awesome to see him be exactly like I knew he would be. So, as I said, if there's anything I can do to help, and I will be there for him. So.
Well, I think we all know folks like that, or I hope we all know folks like that are in the midst of that terrifying storm, and they remain faithful, and they remain strong, and they remain real. It's not a fake thing. It really is their faith, and you can see it come out. When they're in the midst of those trials and those storms. And I'm grateful for the many people that I've had paint that picture for me, for what it really looks like to remain faithful and give it all over to God. He never says it's going to be easy, but there are those folks who just go through things, difficult stuff, and they do it with excellence. And it helps us when inevitably our storms come. It helps us to have a model,
exactly.
a model,
Exactly.
A real living model. I mean, Christ is the model,
Right?
But he's not here with us in the flesh right now. So, he's very faithful and knows that we are human, and some of us are more visual than others, and we learn in different ways, and we need to have those people who are strong enough and tough enough and faithful enough to live it out here and now for us. So,
Exactly. So Jim and Nancy, we're certainly praying for you and lifting you up, and whatever is said today, we know that God will be in it, and that even more so, you've given it to Him. So, anyway, we'll head into some prayer time then. You want to start?
I thought we just prayed.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding.
you want to wrap it up in any way, shape, or form?
Well, yeah, I just want to say thanks today. I say thank you every day, but I hope it never grows tired. I hope that gratitude never grows old or gets stale. It hasn't for me, and I hope that it doesn't for others, Lord. And I just pray that we can find things to be thankful for today in this literal storm, in the figurative storms of our lives. And for all those amazing people that you have placed in my life, those who have weathered the storms and done it with excellence, I thank you for each and every one of them. I lift up Jose Burgos. He was a great inspiration and influence to me early on in my coming to faith. And he's gone through quite a physical storm right now, and I just pray for continued healing and restoration in his body. And he's one of those people who have gone through the storm and done it with excellence. And So I just want to lift him up to you. I thank you for each and every person here. Thanks for RG, for the storms that he's weathered, and for the way that he can share that with us and inspire other people. Lord, I just ask that you would keep each and every one of us safe as we are traveling near or far. Thinking of Shane and the traveling that he'll be doing on his way back up here to see us, praying that you would bless his ministry, his music, his efforts, and Nate as well, as they learn from this experience, and praying that you would help them to bring glory to you through their heart to share music and ministry. Praying for Jennie as she releases her CD. We know that her heart belongs to you, Father, and I just pray that you would honor that in amazing ways, that you would continue to provide for her, that she could pour out your light and your love upon many others with her her special touch and gift of music and song. I'm forgetting some event today. I'm praying for Life Tree Cafe, that it would be a healing station, a healing spot, a starting point of healing for people who have been hurt by the body. I just pray that you would rain down buckets of grace upon that event and upon the people who are attending. Father, I ask that you would continue to use us and make us usable, that you would pour out your Spirit upon us, that we can pour it out upon all those whose paths we cross. I thank you, Jesus.
Heavenly Father, I'm thankful that you have blessed me and graced me with the people you've put along my path, and that I've been able to grow closer to you through their being close to you, and that I can be, in turn, a person that helps someone grow closer to you because of my relationship. And I'm thankful for the story that I didn't just share, though again, I do lift up Jim and Nancy and their strength and help provide them some comfort and continue to fill them. But I think typical of who you are, and this story was shared with me, and it was just so awesome to hear, and I just think it's an amazing tribute as to who you are. But Kathy Stein, Cortland's wife, who's been through the ringer, and just to have some things finally come to closure for her, and the murder of her mother and the settling of the case and such this past couple of months. And she shared with me last night at some point she let go of that and gave it over to you. And then in the course of something else in her life, when she had a career opportunity that she just didn't think she was appropriate for, she decided to give it over to you, and is going to be moving into an opportunity that was not even on her horizon, wasn't on her radar, never even thought it was a possibility, but is so much joy in her heart now for where you have taken her. And she gives it absolutely unequivocally to God in her life and her ability to just say, you know what, you've got this better than I think I know, and certainly better than I think I know in this circumstance. And the joy that she's an enthusiastically God-filled person anyway, but to see the excitement and the enthusiasm that has been filled into her even more in this situation where she's living it out. She took the opportunity to say, God, I'm giving this to you. And you were faithful, over faithful. And you're taking her on a journey that she doesn't know where it's going to go, but she's so filled with excitement knowing that you're in it. And I just pray that each of us have that opportunity over the course of the next day, the next weekend, the next week, whatever that is, as we just look for those opportunities to turn things over to you and let you take care of it. You're waiting there to do that anyway. And the things that you will return to us are beyond our capacity to understand as we sit here today. And it'll be so natural, and it'll be so obvious once we get to that point and you lay it on our heart that this is in fact what you have for us. That feeling is priceless. It is beyond many of our own expectations of what we can feel. And yet you sit there and say, this is the plan I have for you. So let us give it over to you. You've got this. And we'll be greater for it. We'll be closer to you for it. And we'll do it in your glory. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Everybody have a wonder-filled day.
Stay dry
If you
and
can do
warm. Get out your galoshes and your winter coats. It's March
your
here in Northwest
galoshes.
Indiana.
Nice. All right. Thanks. We'll be back Monday with Jackie. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Happy Friday.